Now, you have worked for the agency for a considerably long time. Can you tell me how you started? What was your experience when you started?
When I first walked in, we were probably 15, 16 people. Today we're north of 350. But I think the thing that stayed the same is the culture and the energy and the vibe, the smiles on people's faces, the community spirit, and the ethos and the DNA of the agency is very much still the same today.
What have the difficult parts of that growth journey been?
So I speak to agency leaders all around the industry, all around the world and locally. And they always go to me and they go, oh my God, you know, Dave, we're just going from like 25 to 30. It's so difficult. Do you remember when you went through that? It was so difficult. We're going from 50 to 75. Oh, it's so difficult, it's so difficult. I would say it's difficult every step of the way, like it really would. And I think it takes empathy, I think it takes passion, and the right culture to go through that. And there's no secret to it. I would say for us, the most important transformation we went through, we call it Pride. And it would be around 2013. We were about 100 people, went for a couple of beers. We'd just been down in London meeting clients. We went to the pub just by Euston, I think quite a few people going there. We sat outside having a drink and we're chatting about it and we're trying to work out like, God, you know, isn't it hard at the moment? Woe is me, blah, blah, blah. And I'll never remember who it was and, you know, it was collective more than anything, but okay, God, it used to be great. Remember when we were like, you first joined, Dave, and it was 25 people, everyone had a smile on their face, and everyone took responsibility, and everyone had pride in them. Wasn't it good, Dave? Wasn't it good? And it struck us that actually, that's how we should set ourselves up. Now, the one thing that I think really has differentiated Avast Links and everything that I've done versus other agencies is if we have an idea, we commit to 110%. If we're going to do something, it is going to be the best it has ever been. And we are going to set the standard. So once we as a senior team have gone, right, let's do this. We're going to take our 100 people agency and we're going to break it down into 4 different teams. And if we get this wrong, and if we're not right, we're screwed. Because where'd you go? You've ripped up the entire fabric of your business. You've tried something new. There's no putting it back together. So if you're going to do this, you've got to do it right. So over the course of sort of 6 to 8 weeks, this is running from, I don't know, beginning of July to the end of August, we planned it to the nth degree. We worked out how we were going to divide people. What was the transition going to look like? What was the change management piece? What were the one-to-ones we were going to have? Where were they going to sit? Which clients were they going to work on? What was the right chemistry? We planned everything to like the nth degree. And then I believe it was the last Friday in August, brought everyone into the business. I said a few words, said, by the way, we're going to turn the whole agency upside down. We think it's the right thing to do. Can we have your support and your belief? We then went and did like summer games and we were playing like 3-legged races and rounders and all these different things. And everyone was doing it in their new teams. While we were out doing that, and obviously we'd have a few drinks in the evening, in the office we'd got a team who was moving everyone around. So as soon as you walked in on a Monday morning, everything was done for you. The keyboard's in the right place, mouse is in the right place, you've got your like lucky picture, whatever it may be. Everything was completely perfect. And that was really, for us, that was like day one. That was the launch of Links Pride.
Education is a big part of, as you're saying, with doing the training sessions. So for 6 months a year, we've got the education. That's a massive investment. Was that seen as an investment when you did it, that we were going to get returns from this, or was there some other reason for doing the education?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things. Number one is I have absolute zero interest in the profit of this year. My interest is creating a sustainable agency. So I'm interested in what the next decade looks like, not the next 12 months. If we were interested in 12 months, there'd be no academy, there'd be no graduate program, there'd be no tea lady going around, there'd be none of those things. But I know it's about attracting the best talent, retaining the best talent, and supporting the best talent. So it's a really long-term investment. The second thing is going, you know, you look at, it's called the millennials, and you know, but even actually people all through the business, people want to learn more. They want to get better. And I believed that agencies weren't fulfilling their obligation to their team by providing the necessary training. And if I'm honest, I felt like a lot of people provide training because it sounds good in pitches, because it sounds good in interviews, because it sounds like the kind of thing you want to talk about. And again, it goes back to my point of going, if you're going to do something, make it the best. Make it absolutely 100%. So we came up with the Links Academy, which I think is now in its 5th year. and is definitely one of my biggest kind of points of pride. And our commitment to it is unsurpassed.
And then you've got your investment in your cultural program, what you call Links Life, all the things that you do internally to the benefit of staff. And again, a lot of companies look at that and they see that as a cost.
Yeah.
And you seem to not see it as a cost, but you seem to see it as an investment. What are all the benefits that you get from that?
There's lots of, nothing's ever as simple as one thought. And there's quite a few that go into it. Number one is going, how do we preserve the culture that I loved, like the day I walked in and the second day I walked in? And how do we maintain that? And how do we set up this sustainable business? That's really important to me. The other thing that I think is important is, work's hard and it's pretty stressful. Things can be really frustrating, and not just for our staff, but actually also for their extended family. And I'm just really committed to going, not only are we trying to protect and preserve this culture, but how do I minimize your stress? How do I make sure that I'm saying thank you to you? How do I make sure I'm not just saying thank you to you, but I'm saying thank you to your family for the commitment that you give to us?
What are your ambitions from here on in? Where do you want to take the company, and what do you think it is that's the magic you want to keep?
This year we fulfilled our vision. So we set out to be the #1 healthcare communications agency in the world. We won the Cannes Lions Healthcare Agency of the Year, so that box is ticked. I'm now working with my team, trying to co-create across the business what is the vision for the next 5 years. And it's about being more progressive, it's about being more contemporary, it's about how we can really change healthcare communications. I'm that excited to reveal that and develop it and publish it to the business. But the thing that will be the same is it will be great people doing great ideas, producing great outcomes. And our ambition is to continue to do that. And when we continue to do that, we'll continue to be successful.